So?
Story time.
What happened?
Oh, it has been a day, everyone.
Just tell us all. This is therapy. What happened on the way here?
No.
Yes,
no,
come on.
Moved on. Nobody at home
No,
wants
we
Nobody
can't park
wants
it
to
yet.
hear
We
that.
can't park
Yes,
it yet.
we can, because we want to welcome everyone into check-in. Sarah Orlesky, Jamie Thomas, thanks so much for joining us, everyone, as we get you set for tonight's game.
Come on.
In Nevada.
Come on.
I just said it's been
All right.
It's been a day.
All right. We're not going to go there.
All right. Great to see so many of you on Facebook.
I was trying to give you credit for like making it to the show.
I did.
Don't tell anybody what happened, but she wasn't going to come to the show, so I had to like book an extra guest. I was going to carve her. I had a question of the day all lined up to make fun of her not being here for the show, and then she shows up.
All right.
So I give you full credit, and Adam, our producer, also gives you full credit for dedication of making it to the show, even though you've had a terrible morning.
I might have. I don't know.
It's nothing to do with being sick. Nothing bad happened.
Just keep pointing out everything. She's not feeling well. The morning has not gone well.
No, it's not because you don't feel well.
But
you sound way better, by the way.
Thank you so much.
So that magic elixir, that family magic elixir. I feel like that's the first time I've ever complimented you.
It's quite possibly.
Okay.
That might be the question of the day. Is this the first time the JT has ever complimented me? The Jets taking on Vegas for the third and final time this season. They have both clinched their spots in the postseason. Both are leading their respective divisions. Both coming in off of losses with teams breathing down their necks.
And number 1 and 2 in power plays this year too. So there's a lot of things going on. 2 great teams going at it. And so I just wanted to put my toe in the water just to see where Jets fans are right now.
All right.
Okay. So
let's see.
The question of the day is, will the Jets win the Central Division?
Okay.
Where are you guys feeling? How are you guys feeling right now? And I know there's a lot of optimistic Jets fans that watch the show. I know that for a fact, because I've been watching the comments over this season, the whole year that we've been doing this. And it's been very optimistic. So as they go into a game against Vegas.
And rightfully so.
Well,
I mean, they've been first or second in the league the entire season.
And there was a question the other night in LA. Was this a measuring stick?
Yeah, that one didn't go over well.
No, Arnie did not like that at all.
He did not.
Cole Perfetti handled it much better.
Yeah.
As Cole does.
Yeah.
He's a nice guy. But Arnie was a little less impatient. And for good reason, because of where they've been all year.
Right.
It should be LA. You should be asking the Kings that. Was this a measuring stick kind of game? Even though the Kings did sweep the season series.
Yes.
I will say this. Winnipeg played a great game.
Yeah.
I felt. They played very patient. But there was like 3 mistakes where you're like, what?
Yep.
What happened? What made you do that? What made you make that decision? So all we hear all the time is get the pucks in deep. There was 2 times where they failed to do that and they ended up back in the net.
Yeah.
And that's how opportunistic LA is. LA just waits. They are boring. That was not a fun game to watch.
No, especially not with a late start.
No. So if you're going to make me stay up till 9:30, give me more than this. But that's not the point.
Yes.
The fact is like they generated enough offense, I felt. But LA does clog the middle. They are very frustrating to get to the front of the net with. But it was like 3 errors and boom, 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 3 goals. So I think you can basically say those 3 errors cost you the game. And there wasn't many. That's the good part.
There were not. So we'll see how they bounce back now. I mean, the measuring stick. I like the person who was it that chimed in?
Yeah. How about here we go. That's a new one. Thanks, buddy.
Oh.
Q, I know who you are. Thank you.
How about the one with, since Sarah is there?
Yeah.
The Jamie Thomas without Sarah Orlesky is no longer applicable.
Oh, dang it. See, thank you. You guys are you guys are on everything. Hold on. I'll fix that right now.
Well, you don't have to. That's fine. We'll just keep people on their toes if they're tuning in late. While it's not a measuring stick game, we do know that the Jets have also struggled against Vegas not just this season, but in general, in order to be able to get wins. Oh no! What?
I like James Robinson. I'm just going to stand here in my own blue line.
They've switched from the 1-3-1 to the 1-2-2, and
even more boring. Like it's just if you're like you're winning, and I get that, and you must be happy. But if you're like Andre Kopitar and Quentin Byfield, who are like offensively gifted players, this is what we have.
But I feel like even when they played the 1-3-1, I mean, they were stifling.
They were too then. Yeah.
So they're opportunistic, as you said.
It's like in a city like Los Angeles, you would think that you would have some type of, man, we got to entertain people.
Right. Hey, Will Ferrell looks entertained on a regular basis.
Some people are special that way.
So, okay, so let's turn our attention
Yeah.
to tonight to Vegas. So
For sure.
both these teams looking to bounce back. Vegas lost against Edmonton, should I say. And then obviously the Jets looking to bounce back. They have struggled against Vegas to be able to get the wins. They're 1-8-1 in their last 10 games against them when you go back to the postseason and include those as well. But so this is not a measuring stick game, but this is a game in which I'm looking to see how this team bounces back and how you're going up against another tough style, similar to LA in terms of they don't give you a lot, right? They're good off. This Vegas team is really good off the rush. They don't give you a lot in the middle. They really limit the number of shot opportunities that you have.
A lot of shots.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So I'm just interested to see how the Jets respond. They didn't skate yesterday. It was already a planned day off.
Yeah.
So they will skate tomorrow in Utah. But there are some questions going in. With the time change, the morning skate has not happened yet. Getting hooped again on those specific time zones. But is Luke Shen able to go? That's a question because that impacted certainly that blue line already without Neil Pionk. So now you have 2 out of your 3 pairings impacted with no Luke Shen.
Yeah, and we've already seen the impact of Luke Shen in this whole scheme of things. So it's just that's a big loss. And now you already had the good feelings coming beforehand because Neil Pionk took the morning skate in Los Angeles. He's not close yet, but it was good to see him out with the team. So you had the good feeling with that one. But to not have Luke Shen is a big difference maker. But to their defense, they continue to show the depth that they have and able to play a very solid hockey game without Luke Shen in the lineup.
Absolutely. The season series so far, the 2 games, end of November, middle of December. So it's been a while. In fact, I was looking, it's been such a long time that the last time that they played, Minnesota and Winnipeg were on top of the Central Division standings. And now Minnesota's hanging on to that second wildcard spot and in a fight with St. Louis and for wildcard positioning. So a lot has changed since then. But some of the comments that Scott O'Neill had said after their last game was that, they need numbers in the offensive zone. And I'm bringing this up because this is going to be applicable again today because the style obviously hasn't changed. So in the November 29th game, he really liked the compete and battle that they had. 3 rush goals against. This is a really good rush team. They gave up 7 rush chances in total. 3 of them Vegas scores on. Yeah. They're a big, heavy team that gets in on the forecheck. How do you defend against the rush? You need numbers in the offensive zone. You want to attack, but when turnovers happens, our F3 has to be above theirs. And Vegas D, you have to be prepared, is always coming. They're always on the attack.
Yeah, you have to be aware of that at all times. And so Vegas has the #1 power play in the NHL right now.
Yeah.
So that's another thing to be aware of. And we talked about that a little bit earlier in the show. But so we had thrown up that graphic when Gabe Lardy was announced that he was out week to week, and how the Jets power play had done without him. Not very good last year, and 1 for 9 to start this year, including the 0 for 2 show against the Kings, especially in the third period when the game was on the line. I felt, from what I saw, and I think Scott O'Neill said the same thing.
Yeah.
With the power play, LA does a good job boxing out and blocking shots, but they didn't feel the attack at the front of the net as much as they should have. And he also talked about that in the power play sense. There was no attack. There's a lot of passing, but there wasn't any attacking going on. And it's that attack mentality that we've heard even guys like Kyle Connor talk about all the time. It wasn't happening. There wasn't a lot of urgency with that man, with the man advantage against the Kings. Now, Kings play a big role in that too, but in a game like that, that attack mentality has got to go up a little bit higher.
Yeah, and that'll certainly be the case with Vegas as well in order to be able to have success against them. And I feel as if that passing mentality is something that really was so characteristic of the Jets power play for a number of seasons that they were always waiting for that one great shot, perimeter. Yeah. And then to start off this season, when Davis Payne came in, we saw the changes that were made, and it was an attack mentality, and there was a lot more movement in it. Yes. And we just haven't been able to see it. And while they have liked in some of the games, they have liked some of the opportunities that they've generated, we didn't see it in the last game. And certainly this is a power play right now that needs to get going again as you look towards the postseason.
For sure. And that is, and I'm with these playoff type teams that they're going up against. This is when you're trying to find. We've already talked about how they've answered the bell many times. You go back to the Dallas game, go back to the Capital game. Now it's the Biggest game here tonight. So big show. Obviously, we're 10 minutes in. We've got two big guests for you. We have Elliot Friedman from Sportsnet to join us. He's going to join us in about 3 seconds as soon as I bring him up. And Mitchell Clinton from CGOB will be here as well. So to talk about the new deal with Rogers, the National Hockey League, is the man that signed the deal himself. He did everything, did all the negotiating. He knows how to do all the stuff. Like, they got people doing everything at Rogers. Part of that is negotiating. It is Elliot Friedman from Sportsnet. Congratulations on the deal that you brokered. Congratulations. You did a great job.
I was about to say, I'm happy to see one of you after that introduction.
You don't even know the day that Sarah's having. So it's this
Hey,
all for you.
Breach.
Hey, Sarah, how you doing? Jamie, how you guys doing?
Very good. Very good. How excited are you guys back for another 12 years, my friend?
Look, I mean, we're all really excited. There's no question about it. I don't know if you saw all the intricacies of the deal, but not next year, but starting the year after. So 2026, 27, we've added 10 more Jets games than we used to have too. So we'll get to broadcast the Jets a bit more often. So I'm curious to see what that's going to mean for the future. But look, like, you guys know how it works. You're in the business.
Yeah.
When you're involved in something, especially something as big as this, the people in front of the camera are excited about it. The people who are behind the camera are excited about it. You just want to do the best possible job. And, it was really interesting. Like, we had the press conference yesterday, and then a few minutes after the press conference ended, we had a big game last night on our air, Toronto, Florida. So you're happy in the moment, but you're like, we got a job to do. We got a big game tonight. Like, there's no time to celebrate anything. We got work to do. So that's the way we look at it.
Well, you mentioned the big game for each that was last night, and there's so many big games down the stretch. I was talking to Jamie before we came on, and I said that, there was a couple of weeks where I thought that it was really just going to be the wild card races in both the East and West that had everybody intrigued. But with the way that teams have either maybe fallen off or some have really come on in the last little bit, down this stretch, it's not just about who's going to make it into the wild card positioning, but also who's going to win the different divisions, not just, Central Division with 4 points separating Dallas and Winnipeg, but also you look around the league, there's a lot of intrigue to go down to the wire.
Well, I think there's two big division races, Sarah, right? One is yours. And, it's amazing, like the incredible year the Jets have had. You realize that Dallas is they're like an annoying little fly that just won't go away. Like, that's
100%.
what they are. And, Toronto got that big win over Florida, but they still have, next week they have a road trip where they play Tampa and Florida back to back. And it's like the same thing at the top of the Atlantic Division. Like, nobody wants to finish second or third. Nobody wants that first round series. Not like Ottawa's going to be a picnic where they are, who would play the winner right now, but you probably would prefer the Senators over either the Panthers or the Lightning. So yes, I mean, Bettman, he loves this playoff system. I don't agree with him 100% of the time, but every time something like this happens, he just sits there with that smile and grins at us and says, I told you it's good. So, and you know what? You're right. Like, the more races you have, the better. And some of the division races are just as entertaining as the wild card races. No question.
All right. So we're as we look along here, like, it felt like there's only 4 teams that could push in the West. Now it seems like there's 6 or 7. LA's kind of thrown themselves in the mix, especially St. Louis at this point with 10 straight wins. So to you, Friedge, which conference provides the easier road to the Stanley Cup final?
Well, easy is relative. You threw me here, Jamie, because the font at the bottom says tougher road, and then you can't read with easy.
But I follow my own questions. I apologize.
Yeah, I gotta say, Jamie, like, you're not dealing with a university graduate here. I get confused very easily. So
tougher road.
So I think the West is tougher. I really do. I think I look at it like I always have my list of teams that I think can really win the Stanley Cup. And, in the East, I think I've got, I've got 5. I go Toronto, I go Tampa, I go Florida, I go Washington, I go Carolina, and it stops there for me. And in the West, I go 6 now. I think that I think Winnipeg, I think Colorado. Well, actually, you know what? I've gone to 7 with St. Louis. Like, I actually think I'm beginning to look at St. Louis now, and this 2019 stuff. It's eerie, right? Like,
Yes.
and some people question LA, but I look at that home record and I look at the way they defend. Like, I'm still not convinced LA can score enough to beat Edmonton, but I think it's impossible to completely discount them.
Yeah.
But look, I look at in the West, your 2-3 in your division is a Stanley Cup final. Whoever plays Colorado, that could be a Stanley Cup final.
Yep.
And in the 2-3 in the East, it could also be a Stanley Cup final. But like, Colorado as a 3 seed to me is insane. Like, it's just, especially the way they've played since the deadline. I think the West is a tougher road. I just do.
Yeah, I do. I love that you now have 7 out of 8 teams in the West
which gives perspective of how tough this is going to be for the Jets going forward.
100. Yeah, I think across the board. And I agree with you.
I'll tell you this: if the Jets finish first, they'd probably be pretty happy if St. Louis passed Minnesota.
Yes.
I don't know that they'd ever admit it, but they'd probably be pretty happy about it.
Well, I mean, I'll just say it. When you look
We'll be
at,
happy.
not that Minnesota, I mean, Minnesota's getting a little bit healthier, but you just look at the run that St. Louis, I mean, what, 10-0 in their last 10, and
They're
you
here
look
Monday.
at what Jordan Binnington has been able to do lately. It's just, it reminds me of 2019 a little bit as well. What about Ovechkin? Elliotte, when you look now, just 3 goals to go. We had Sean Reynolds on the other day, and we were joking that he could be on the road for 17 or 20 days since he's following him until the end. But with the way that he just continues to score, I mean, do you believe he's going to get it this season?
I do. I mean, I'll say this: when we taped the pod this week, Sarah, we talked about, could he do it this week?
Yeah,
Because you looked at it, it was Boston. It was Boston. It was Carolina. And even though Carolina is a good team, like, he scores historically against them, and he did. Chicago, they played pretty hard last night, but Chicago is a team that's turning it over to the kids, and it's not always easy. And then they got the Islanders on the weekend, another team that he scored a ton against in his career. And the other thing too, Sarah, is I was looking at the schedule. If you take a look at Washington's schedule over the next little while, they don't have a lot of home games. Like, they play this one tomorrow night, and then they go at Islanders, then home to Carolina, at Columbus. Like, part of me wonders if in any way, like, you can't really control this, but you've got a team that you can score on tomorrow night, and you want, like tomorrow night they're going to be feeding him like crazy. He might play 45 minutes tomorrow night.
Yeah.
And so I do think, like, that's a factor. It's Chicago's a team that's young. They've got a lot of young players based early in their careers, or just learning how to play in the NHL. I wouldn't be surprised at all if he gives this a big run tomorrow night and at least ties it and maybe breaks it. I wouldn't be shocked at all.
If he doesn't tie it at home, or break it, should I say, at home, Elliotte, what would you think about him setting in that final game against Pittsburgh? Like, would there just be, from a, I don't know, storyline standpoint?
Yeah. Sarah, it's funny. I asked a while ago, about 3 or 4 weeks ago, when it became pretty obvious he had a really good chance to do it this year. I asked someone there, would you sit him on the road to make sure he does it at home? And the answer was, not only would we not do it, but we don't even think he would let us do it.
Yeah.
So I would say, I mean, it would, there would be something. Like, I think it's going to be done well before the end of the season. The way he's going, he's just going to do it. But like Sarah, honestly, there would be something magical to doing it with Crosby there, like the two of them. Like, it is amazing. Like, you go back like 20 years ago when that first started, because we are coming up on 20 years. What the league was hoping for from those two guys.
Yeah.
And not only did they deliver, but they also probably surpassed the wildest expectations. Like, how often does that happen?
Yeah.
Okay, I lied to you twice already. I said that I told you I lied to you about the question I was going to ask you. I lied to you about the time I was going to keep you on.
Sorry.
And I got asked
It's okay.
One more question. Liam wants to know why WIN instead of WEG or WIP when you shorten Winnipeg.
What about WIG, the one I've been using lately? You know what, Liam? I would say this. I love the reactions. I do. I think
Yeah.
people have a lot of fun with it.
Mhm.
I just like it's supposed to be fun, right? Like
Yes, it is.
this is not brain surgery or anything like that. This is supposed to be fun. And I really enjoy the exchanges I have with people. And I would say this too. I love like the teams that lean in, like the Jets. Like I've said this before, you guys have a great social media team. They're very clever, they're
Mhm.
very funny, and I like when they lean into it too. It's supposed to be fun, and I do it for fun.
Thanks, man. If anybody wants something negotiated, Elliot Friedman's your guy. I'll get his phone number, and we're wishing you all the best. And thanks so much for your time today, bud.
My pleasure, guys. And go Jets, go! And I hope I see you guys in June. Well, maybe you, Sarah, more than Jamie. Now that Jamie lied to me twice on this call,
3 times.
three
See you,
times.
buddy. Yeah, appreciate
care,
it.
guys.
Have
So
a
much,
great day.
Preach.
See Elliot Friedman joining us. He's the best, honestly.
He does a great job, and obviously 32 Thoughts is a must listen to. Often, you and I go back and forth, and I know a bunch of people on our team do as well, that go back and forth. Okay, did you hear at I don't know, the 15-minute mark that Elliot said this or Kyle said this? So definitely a must listen to,
So just because I thought you weren't going to make it, I added an extra guest.
as you should.
Yeah. But you made it. Hi, Mitch.
Hi.
I see you're not in a closet. It doesn't look like there's going to be lights blinking in your face that we know of right now, although you are in Vegas, and Sarah and I know about the Vegas people turning on lights and off lights and turning on music when you're trying to do a hit. Not that I'm holding a grudge.
All right. He's moved past it, as you can tell.
Yeah, I don't hold grudges at all. So just a quick thought is Mitchell Glenn from CJOB and Power 97, color analyst on the radio broadcast. Thoughts on the solid effort in Los Angeles, but not coming out with 2 points?
Yeah, it sucks, obviously. I mean, I think that's pretty much what the players would say is that, you put together an effort like that one and you don't get the reward. I mean, I think it also just kind of goes to show the level of competition. I mean, Los Angeles has been really good, especially on home ice for the entire season. And I don't think that would have surprised Winnipeg in any way, shape, or form. But it just kind of goes to show, against those types of opponents that you make a mistake and, well, it's in the back of the net sometimes. That's just the quality of opponent that the Los Angeles Kings are. It's going to be a very similar challenge against another team that's really good on home ice in the Vegas Golden Knights tonight.
Okay, so Gabe, this is going to be the 5th game without Gabe Vilardi, right? Power play 1 for 9 without Gabe Vilardi. Are there concerns with this power play unit without number 13 on the roster?
Concerns, no, but I mean, obviously you'd love to have him than not have him. That would be the main thing. But really, kind of since 4 Nations, the power play just hasn't quite been clicking at that nearly record-breaking pace that it was, right? So I think ultimately, and Cole Perfetti kind of touched on it after the Los Angeles game, that they have to kind of get back to a little bit more of that attack mentality, because that's something that, made these guys so dangerous. And the play that I think of, and this isn't necessarily, to call out Nikolai Ehlers or anything, but it's just the one that stands out in my head the most from the game against Los Angeles, where he's coming down that strong side where we know he's dangerous. He's got that great shot that he likes to use, whether it's the wrist shot or he winds up on the rush with a slap shot, one of the two. And he passed off. And especially in a game like the one against Los Angeles, where it was so difficult to get pucks to the net. And Nikolai Ehlers will forget more about the game of hockey than I'll ever know. So maybe he saw a passing lane that got quickly closed up. We don't know. But I just think they have to get back to getting that puck to the net a little bit more. I watched some film yesterday on the power play when it was really rolling. And that was the thing that really stood out, is they didn't take a lot of time to get that puck to the net. They, would move it around, couple of passes. There'd be a lot of motion off the puck, and they'd be getting the thing to the net, and then your retrievals became important. And Winnipeg was so good at retrieving pucks earlier in the season. I think, honestly, it's just going back to those basics, right? Just get that puck to the net, get the puck back, and go to work. Vegas's power play is now kind of overtaken Winnipeg as the number 1 power play unit in the league. So perhaps a statement night for the Winnipeg Jets power play to get themselves back to number 1.
Ooh, that'd be great if that was one of the topics or one of the lines in the Boys in the Booth.
Yeah, that could be.
Yeah, could be.
We'll write that for Kelly Moore later. Don't worry.
Mitch, do you have any idea? I know that morning skate hasn't started for them yet, but did you have any sense after the game with what we're looking at in terms of Luke Schenn, and could he be back in the lineup potentially today?
Well. I can tell you that the official part of the morning skate hasn't started yet. You can probably hear the pucks behind me, but
Yes.
Luke Schenn is on the ice.
Ooh.
So that's a good sign. He was on the ice. I want to say, so it officially starts at 11 o'clock Pacific time.
Yeah.
And I want to say he was on the ice at 10:35.
Okay.
So that's quite early. But I think he was just kind of testing it out, seeing how it felt. But obviously it looks like it feels pretty good because he's still out there. Doing a quick scan, I thought I saw Neil Pionk as well, so that'll be something that I'll keep an eye on as morning skate gets underway. But the other thing that I noted is Eric Comrie in the visitor net taking the shots from Dylan Sandberg. So it looks like Eric Comrie's still with the team with everything going on back home.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wasn't he supposed to have? Wasn't the baby supposed to be around at this point?
Yes.
Yeah, exactly. So that's kind of like the
Come
first
on,
thing that I
baby,
watch
watch.
for at morning skate. But he was taking the shots from Dylan Sandberg, so perhaps he gets the start tonight if everything stays the same throughout the day. We never know.
Yep.
So that would be something to watch. And then obviously line rushes, I'll be tweeting them out as soon as they happen. I am curious to see if they do make any adjustments, but overall, I think the team played a real solid game. But obviously, Luke Schenn's availability would mean that one of those defensemen that played against Los Angeles would have to come out if they want to go 12-6, which I assume they do.
All right. Well, thanks for coming at the last second, as always.
Appreciate it.
Sarah owes you coffee.
I do owe you.
Yeah.
Yep. Very much so.
And you
I'm
look
just
good in
glad
your normal color.
you're feeling better, Sarah. I know earlier in the week you were battling something, so I'm glad.
Well, so
glad
were
you're feeling
you. So were
Yes.
you. How are you feeling?
good. I was a professional yesterday, and around dinner time, I started to feel my voice getting a little raspy, and I'm like, you know what? We're shutting it down. Stayed in the room, didn't do anything wild, and my voice today feels great. So
See,
progress.
look.
Man, you have matured so much in 1 year, buddy.
I know, right? It's
Last year,
finally.
Mitch would have been out in Vegas all night, and to hell with my voice.
Right.
It's always the reputation you've had, Mitch. you
Oh, I know.
and me both.
Yeah. Jamie Thomas ruining reputations as the days go by. Thanks, buddy.
Thanks so
Have a
much,
great
Mitch.
day.
Have a good
You
call
too.
tonight.
Have a great call. And everyone, make sure that you check out Mitch's tweets because he will have line rushes out there. But interesting to see Eric Comrie potentially getting the start. I think they've split them so far in the season series.
You know what? They're probably onto something. They probably have a feeling.
Ooh.
Or this was on the list.
Well,
This
very
is on the
possible. You know
schedule.
that they usually do.
So Combs had a tough start against Buffalo last time. So I think this is just like, we believe in you, buddy.
There you go.
Yeah. So then this is, I mean, if they defend outside of the mistakes, I still felt they defended pretty well. And
Yeah.
They ran a pretty good game. So I think and that's a very good point, Leslie. They need to give them some goal support. And they've had that, just not as much as you would like a
Yeah.
little bit earlier in the year. So at this point, we think it's Eric Comrie getting the start. And hopefully it is Luke Schenn back in the lineup for the Winnipeg Jets tonight, because you need that guy that just clogs up the lane.
It's incredible. We've talked about this numerous times in the short period of time that he's been here, but just to be able to see the impact that Luke Schenn continues to have on teams, and you understand, having seen it now
Over and
over, but you understand why he was such a desired addition for many teams, not just the Winnipeg Jets, and what he can do on that blue line. And for him to be able to, I know I said it before, but for him to be able to have revitalized his career the way that he has over a number of years now, after he had been sent down to the minors. I mean, a first round pick before a high round pick. And you look at the way that he's still playing and contributing, what he's adding to it, you notice what a difference he makes in the lineup for the Winnipeg Jets. So hopefully we'll be able to see him back in tonight.
Okay, we did not show the trailer to the
Oh,
latest
yes.
edition of Runway last show, but we're going to do it this show. Lead everybody into it, please.
All right. So the latest edition of Runway came out a couple of days ago now, but as Jamie said, we didn't have the opportunity to show you. So it deals with pressure. It talks a lot about that last game that they played against Dallas here at home. The big win was. So here's just a sample of what you can check out. It's another great job done by our content crew with the Jets.
Well, it doesn't matter. No, it does not. Let's go take care of business. That's what matters.
This 5-game block can really make a determination as to where you're going to finish.
This isn't just game 67.
I love it. I think this is great. It's the biggest game of the year. Samper, the shot, he scores! Coming home tonight.
Fans are amazing to me, so it's going to be nice to be back in front of them.
He said after the morning skate, once the puck drops, it's all business. And boy, did he ever show that.
Blasted against the boards on the near side by Tanev. And then everybody's coming after Tanev. A bunch of cross checks. Back on in front, the shot, they score! In overtime tonight. Kyle Connor with the winner in overtime, and the Jets take it 4-3.
Yeah, no, it was a good bounce back game for us, and it was a really important win.
So hopefully that is the exact same sentiment tonight. Nice to bounce back with a win.
It would be wonderful. I love Paul Edmonds' calls. Dan Robertson is as well, but I especially like because we don't get to see Dan's, but when we've got the GoPro in there and you can see Paulie do the Jets win.
Yeah.
Jets win. In
I got to
overtime.
overtime. I got to stand
Tonight.
beside the man for 3 years. It was fantastic.
He's got such great energy. Would love to be able to hear some goal calls from both of those gentlemen tonight. Again, the Jets, this is game 2 of this 3-game road trip. They will finish off in Utah on Saturday, but they have struggled in Vegas, looking to get back into the win column, though. Dallas also playing tonight. They play earlier. They are playing against Nashville.
Go Predators.
That's right. You never thought
We
you'd
are
say
all
that.
Predators fans.
There you go.
I never thought I'd say that. ever
No,
in my
but
life.
one of the players, just quickly, I mean, Cole Perfetti, we haven't had the chance really to talk about him, but the job that he continues to do of late. Since January 24th, 22 points in 26 games. Before that, he had 25 points in 49 games, and he's factored in on 25% of the Jets' goals over that 26-game stretch leading into tonight's game. So he has certainly found his groove, which is great to see. Hopefully we'll see more smiles from Cole and more contributions, but love to be able to see him elevate his game. And hopefully, you know, one thing with Vegas, every time it seems that the Jets play Vegas, a Manitoba player for Vegas always somehow factors in.
Not tonight.
Not tonight, though.
Not up in here.
We love Manitobans.
We do.
But tonight, if they could stay, if the Howdens,
Stay on your side of the ice.
Yep.
Mark Stone, stay on your side of the ice.
That's right.
Loved what you did
Keegan,
for Nation.
Holster, if you could not score, that would be great.
Yeah, super. I think we've done everything we can.
That's right.
Okay, so listen, we put the question up. You guys thought the Jets were going to win the Central. You guys are very optimistic. I give you a lot of credit. You could have stepped off the bus.
No way.
You did not.
No, this season, there are times, and I will be the first one to say that I don't like to say I'm Debbie Downer. I'm Rita Realistic. And so,
oh my Lord, I've never even heard that one.
There are times that's the,
yeah.
So I love an alliteration. But there are times where in the past, I have thought that the Jets, I haven't had the same amount of confidence in the Jets. And you can see it from their body language or in seasons past.
Yep.
This season, said from the beginning, and it's not because of the start that they had. It's just the consistency that we've seen and that they have been able to bounce back and they are a resilient group. And so they liked a lot of what they did against LA. The challenge will be to be able to convert that into goals against Vegas. But there's no reason for anyone to not have faith in this Jets team. Again, they are first or at times second in the league.
Yep. And Washington
Throughout
lost last night too. So
throughout this entire season. So
tops, baby.
It's been fun to watch. That's what I love most. You know what? Is that they're winning.
The view is nice from up here.
But what you said before about how LA, you don't always enjoy watching the style of game that the Kings play. The Winnipeg Jets play a fun brand of hockey. So it's fun to watch.
Yeah. So
looking forward to this one tonight.
All right, everybody. Appreciate the time. Whatever it is you do to stay up late, Find a way.
Lots of coffee.
I struggled in the second period, not going to lie. I fell asleep.
Did you?
Yeah. Des had to wake me up.
Oh, did you wake up for?
Yeah, I saw stuff.
I
I saw Coldwood High School. It was late.
It was so late.
And it started late. I think it started at 9:45.
I know it did start late. It will not be that late.
No.
It will not be that late tonight. So hopefully,
Yes,
whether
whether
it's
nap, good idea.
yes,
Yeah.
Natalie, I'm all for that. So
Winnipeg Sports Talk. Head
Yeah.
over to them.
for it, it'll be Eagle Eyes, read a realistic, thumbs down.
Wow.
Wow. All right,
Okay.
sure.
Fair.
I mean, like Sassy Sarah's gonna come out then. It's just the whole thing. I got a whole
She
bunch.
can do this all day.
Are you kidding? Dad jokes?
Yeah.
Like mom jokes right here. Mom lines. Okay, that's why I'm cut off. All right. Thanks so much, everyone, for checking in. We will see you on Saturday
Right.
when the Winnipeg Jets are in Utah to take on the Utah Hockey Club. We'll see you then.
Bye, everybody.
Thanks for checking in.